Okay, good. So this lesson is going to be about VWAP, all right? So VWAP stands for volume weighted average price, okay? Volume weighted average price. Now there are a lot of ways to use VWAP, but I'm just going to give it to you the way I use it and then a way I think it should be used, all right? A lot of people try and make obviously fancy, strategies around the VWAP, but it's not needed, okay? So as a rule of thumb, this is the VWAP. You guys see this? This is the VWAP. This orange line is the VWAP. It's the default setting. You don't fidget with it, okay? And VWAP is always going to be at the same location, okay? It's going to be the same location on the 5, the same location on the 15, wherever you put it on the chart, it's always going to be the same place, unlike a moving average. The moving average obviously adjusts on every chart. If you put it on a 5-minute chart, a 9 EMA, it's going to look at the last 9 bars, right? Whereas the VWAP's the VWAP, so it's the same on all time frames. That's why it's really good, because no matter you're watching it on 13-minute chart, 7-minute chart, 2-minute chart, 1-minute chart, it's going to be at the same location. So everybody's looking at, if anybody who's looking at the VWAP, they all have the same price. That is why it's potent, right? Because moving averages, some people use 9, some people use 10, and it's different on each chart. A 9 EMA on a 9-minute chart is going to be different than on a 5-minute chart, right? Whereas the VWAP is the same on all time frame. That's why it's really potent, because everybody's seeing the same price, right? So a simple rule is, if a pair, equity, or indice or whatever, right? If any instrument is above trading, right? Trading above VWAP, it's bullish. All right. It's trading. If it's trading below VWAP, it's bearish. As simple as that. Okay. As simple as that. It's above it, it's bullish. It's below it, it's bearish. Period. Okay. And another way to use it, it works as support and resistance. Okay. It acts like support and resistance level. So pretty simply, if a stock is below the VWAP, it's rallying back into the VWAP. All right. If it's rallying back into the VWAP act as resistance. All right. So the stock is below the VWAP and it's rallying back into the VWAP from below to the VWAP. It's going to act as resistance. Now, if a stock is above the VWAP and it pulls back, right? It pulls back into the VWAP. It's going to act as support. The VWAP is now going to act as support. Okay? It's pretty simple. So above the VWAP, a thing is bullish. Below the VWAP, it's bearish. If a stock or anything is below the VWAP and now it's rallying from low to high back into the VWAP, that VWAP is going to be as resistance. Okay? Same in the opposite way. If a instrument is above the VWAP and now it's pulling back into the VWAP, that VWAP is going to act as support. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that when it's breaking VWAP, you should buy it and it's suddenly bullish. No. Also, it doesn't mean that as soon as it's breaking below VWAP, you short it. No, right? And I'm going to use several examples today, and I think that will clarify how I use VWAP, because I think a lot of people have misconceptions. They say, when I say, oh, it didn't work because there was VWAP there, right? And then you hear, yeah, but it broke it. But it doesn't mean it broke it, it's bullish. There's a certain way to play using the VWAP, okay? And now I'm going to cover that. Now, let's just take a look at the market. Market is amazing. On spiders, the VWAP is like gold, right? It works like gold, okay? Look at this. Look what happened when the spiders today got below the VWAP. Look at that. Gets below, touches, fail. Comes to the VWAP, fails. Every time it comes close to the VWAP, it starts selling off, right? The reason why is VWAP is used by a lot of institutional brokers, okay? Institutional brokers use VWAP. How do they use it? Let's say I'm an institutional client, okay? I have, let's say, 1 million shares to sell. I can't just go out in the market like a retail trader and just sell it at the market, right? Because I'm just going to cause the equity to drop, right? I'm going to get it under investigation, and I'm going to get tons of slippage, and I'm not going to be able to get out, right? I'm going to cause a flash crash. So the way you get out of a big position is the institutional clients, fund managers, hedge funds, mutual funds, they go to their brokers, institutional side brokers, right? And then they say, hey, get me out of 1,000 shares of McDonald's, okay? Now the broker says, all right, sir, we will guarantee you the VWAP pricing. We guarantee you VWAP pricing. They never say, I'm going to do this or that. They just say, I'm going to guarantee you VWAP pricing, okay? So what they do is it's calculated by the volume weighted average price, and the brokers, they guarantee the clients a volume weighted average price. So they have a vested interest, okay, to get the best pricing possible. So what do? They guarantee the VWAP pricing. So let's say someone wanted to sell 1 million shares of Spiders, okay? They will be offering out at the VWAP, okay? So it comes to the VWAP, the institutional clients sell some. Comes to the VWAP, institutional clients sell some. Comes to the VWAP, they sell some, right? So basically, that tells you that the order flow is on the bearish side, okay? That's what it tells you. The order flow is on the bearish side. So every time it comes to the VWAP, they're going to sell, sell, sell until the client is fully out. All right. Now you might ask, but hey, why does the stock become bullish, okay, when it gets above the VWAP? Pretty simply, you will notice the stock will always get rejected at the VWAP, right? And then when it finally breaks through, it actually goes high in the other direction, right? It starts to trend. The reason why that is because let's say, he has a lot of shares to get out. Every time it comes to the VWAP, sell. Every time it comes close to the VWAP, sell. And now let's say it finally breaks through, it's going to go. Why is that? Well, he's selling, selling, selling. So when it gets above VWAP, that tells you that that institutional client who wanted to liquidate his position, now he's out. He's out. He sold all the shares, right? So the broker filled all his shares. Now that institutional selling client, institutional seller, is now out of the position, and now the equity is free to go higher, right? So the broker is putting a ceiling on the stock at VWAP. Every time it comes close to it, it starts selling it, yeah? And when it gets above it, that basically tells you that, okay, his sell order is completed. Now obviously it can go higher because there's no more sell orders, right? So that's what happens. And when you will also notice that sometimes when the stock starts to get away from the VWAP, right, it usually starts to accelerate a little bit more, okay? And the reason why that is because let's say the institutional broker guaranteed his client that I'm going to get you out of VWAP, but the price starts going below the VWAP. Now he's in trouble, okay? Because he's already guaranteed his client, right, VWAP pricing. Now he has to just get him out. He wants to sell 1 million. I have to get him out. The broker, usually what he starts doing, he's like, you know what? I don't think the price is going to come to VWAP. I'm just going to start selling here. Just get him out, right? Because they just want the business. They want the business, okay? Because they're going to get paid anyway. They're going to lose some money here, but they're going to make money on the commission and repeat business of the client, right? So that is why when stock starts to go below the VWAP, it sometimes starts to accelerate. And also you can use it as a moving average. So when a stock is way too far from the VWAP, usually it'll find its way back to the VWAP, retracing back to the VWAP. Let's say stock is higher, it goes up, but the VWAP is still down here, stock might end up pulling back, okay? Because that will tell you that when the stock is going up, but the VWAP is still here, that will basically tell you that that up move, right, is on lighter volume. It's not backed by institutional. When the VWAP is actually going up with the price, all right, that tells you that the institutional clients are buying it up. Volume weighted average price, right? So that's what happens. And look at this. Look at the market yesterday, guys. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Yesterday's market, 5-minute spies. Gets below VWAP. Touches, fails. Touches, fails. It just couldn't get below the VWAP. What happened when it got above the VWAP in the FOMC? Bam. Now that VWAP ended up becoming support, and it went higher. Yeah? Now, let's check out PII. Okay? The one that you guys were trying to play. Look what happened here, guys. Struggling at the VWAP, tries to get above it, right? No follow through. Then finally, when it cracks that VWAP base, look what happens. That's when you get the down move, right? That's what you want to do. And let's just use, give me a stock, because I want you guys to give me a stock so we can see that how it reacts. Pandora. Okay. Oh, look at that. Let me go to 1 minute chart to make it much more clearer. Okay. You guys will see. Look at that. All in the morning, all through this morning, check this out. Boom, pops over VWAP, pulls back holding VWAP. There's a buy order, right? Buy order, buy order, buyer, buy order, buyer gets filled. Pulls back to the VWAP, buy order filled. Pulls back to the VWAP, buy order filled. Now when it finally breaks the VWAP, that's basically telling me that, okay, you know what? Looks like the buy order is done. There's no more buyer. The buyer's run away. Maybe he doesn't want it anymore, right? Look what happened. And whole day long, it hasn't got above the VWAP. And that is why I say that when you're trying to play a retracement setup, like a buy setup, like a sell setup, always wait till it comfortably gets above VWAP. Okay? If you just use this simple rule, you're going to have much more success rate in playing buy setups and in playing sell setups. Just wait till it gets above. Why do you want to buy a downtrending setup? Whatever you have learned at other places who teach buy setups and sell setups, do one thing. Forget about it. Forget about it. Whatever you've learned so far about buy setups and sell setups at any other place, forget about it. The reason why they don't make money, the reason why their setups don't work is because they don't even know what they're doing. Right? A buy setup in its essence, what is a buy setup in its essence? By the way, if you want to take a screenshot of it, you can do so. You know what? It's fine because you guys know what I'm talking about. So like, what is a buy setup by its very nature? A buy setup by its very nature, all right, is basically a downtrend, right? It's a downtrend. And now you are trying to buy this. It triggers over the prior bars. How you're like, oh, buy setup, triggered. And then what happens, it kind of does this and it stops out. And you're like, oh man, it stops out. You know, these setups don't work anymore. You start making excuses, but you forget it didn't work because the VWAP was flat like this right here. Right? VWAP was flat like this. So now that's it. You got to change. Markets have changed. Okay? So you got to use that. Let's use Microsoft, Neil, throughout. I'm pretty sure. Let's see how it reacted on Microsoft. Let's go to the 5-minute chart on this. Look at Microsoft all day yesterday, actually, right? Let's zoom in a little bit. And then we'll take a look at all 3 days. Look at this day on Microsoft. Trading above VWAP. Breaks it. Now when it breaks it, look what happens. It can't even get above it. Sells off. Touches VWAP, sells off. Touches VWAP, sells off. Right? Can't even get above it. Hanging around the VWAP and then eventually rolls over. Look, same thing yesterday, right? And this is the day when this is today, right? When I was trying to play this long, it got above the VWAP, played it long, and then it ended up breaking below the VWAP. And look what happened since then. You know, now it's trying to get above it, but it's not going to get above it because the way people use it incorrectly is that they say, yeah, but it broke the VWAP, right? It got above the VWAP. You said above the VWAP it's bullish. It got above the VWAP, right? Or they say, yeah, but it got below the VWAP, right? You said if it's below the VWAP, I'm going to take it. No. No. You got to wait till the setup actually takes place, right? So this is how to play pullbacks. Now, I am recording this, so don't worry about recording it. I'm going to send you guys recording, okay, of this. So this is how you play pullbacks. Number one, this incorrect way to play pullbacks, right? This is the incorrect way to play pullback, and you're going to stop out most of the times. If you're still playing the 1990s buy setups that you've been taught, it's not going to work anymore. That stuff is 20 years old, okay? Doesn't work anymore. Now, if you're trying to play a sell setup, or let's say if you're trying to play a breakdown, okay? Let's say you're playing breakdown like this. A lot of time what happens, guys? Boom, you get triggered and then the stock stops out, right? Isn't this what happens? Yeah? Isn't this what happened? You try and play a breakdown, it peaks above and comes back below, and then you stop out. The reason why this happens is because the VWAP is like right about here, right? So it might have pierced it and you get executed on the short and now you stopped out. So what you have to do, and trust me on this, okay? You can give me any buy setup that you've traded in the past, and I will show you exactly which one worked and which one doesn't work, okay? And this is something I myself have learned only this year in 2015. Before this, I was doing the same thing. It never worked. I learned this year, okay? It's brand new stuff. You're not going to get to learn this anywhere else, all right? So this is how it works, all right? Let's see this. So this is how you're supposed to play it, pretty simply. Stock is fallen. You want to play a buy setup, right? And let's assume this is the VWAP. This flat red line is the VWAP. Usually this is what's going to happen. A lot of people try and play long here, right? It touches the VWAP and then it rolls over. So what you're supposed to do, and let's say now it breaks above the VWAP. Do you think this is a good entry here? Buying above the VWAP? What do you guys think? Yeah, exactly. So now what you got to do, when it finally gets above the VWAP, you let it do its thing, right? At least for 2-3 minutes. At least like let a 5-minute candle do its thing about the VWAP, right? Because a lot of time if you're playing on 1 or 2 minute charts, you get triggered in, and on the 5-minute chart it ends up coming back down, right? It looks like a topping tail or whatever, and now you say hey, but it got above the VWAP. You said to buy above the VWAP, but no, a pullback has to hold above the VWAP for a long. So this is what it's supposed to look like, all right? Boom, 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 boom. You're trying to play that. Let's assume this was the VWAP. So boom, boom, boom. You let it do its thing, and then you wait for this pullback to form a higher low at the VWAP, and then here is where you can buy it, or when it takes this out, right? When it takes this out, the prior high, then you are supposed to buy, because then you can put your stop loss here or here, and you're good. Because basically what you really want is a trend to form, all right? You want a trend to form, because if you are playing a buy setup like this, you are basically buying a downtrend, right? And this could happen on you, because basically it's just going to end up forming a downtrend, right? Then you try it again, and then it stops out again. It's basically in a downtrend. So you have to wait for it to get into an uptrend. How do things get into an uptrend? For an uptrend to happen, it needs to make a higher high and a higher low. So if this is the buy setup, you let it do its thing. Don't buy it. Let it do its thing. Let it do its thing like this, form a higher low, and then that's where you want to execute your position. Okay? Let's just take a look. Let's find me an example. I mean, there are so many examples. I mean, it's insane. Like I can't even explain how many examples there are, right? In the past few days, we've seen so many examples in itself. So Adobe, let's take a look. Why can't I press type? All right, Adobe. Look at this, for example, guys. Look at this, for example. Look at Adobe today. Gets below VWAP, touches, fail. Look at this. Touches VWAP, fail. And I'm pretty sure on 15-minute chart or something, it looked like a buy setup, I guess. I don't know. I mean, yeah, to some people, this might look like a buy setup, right? Touches the VWAP, fails, right? And now let's take a look at Adobe 5-minute chart. Let's go back. Tell me a gapper, though. I want to look at gappers. Because gappers are the best thing for, for buy setups. Let's find me a gap up. Yeah, Baba from yesterday. I mean, anything. Baba from any day. Look at any day, Baba. This day, Baba was below VWAP. How did it close? Bearish. This day, Baba was below the VWAP. When it get above, how did it close? Bullish. This whole day, Baba was above VWAP. Closed bullish. Yesterday, Baba was above and below. Flat line. When it got above the VWAP, up move came in. Today, got below the VWAP. And look what's happening now. Look what's happening now. Right? It's been trading below the VWAP all day. Got extended, rallied to the VWAP. Look what happened, guys. Failed. Alright, this is the best tool I have found in 2015. Every year I learn something new, right? You guys and me, we're all dynamic traders. So every year I pick up something new. Last year was the year of the squeeze indicator, right? Bollinger Bands, Keltner channels. They worked the best in 2014. 2015, they don't work as well. Every year, it's like a flavor of the month, right? Every year, there's a new thing. Now, next year, who knows? VWAP might be irrelevant. Yeah? So as a trader, you got to constantly adapt. You constantly have to be dynamic. And that is how you're going to survive in the marketplace, right? It's like flavor of the month. Last year was the, as I said, Keltner Challenge, Bollinger Band, Squeeze, Voodoo Lines, TTM indicators, they were the flavor of 2014. 2015, they don't work as good. Yeah. Then before that was the year of the, what's that guy's name? I forgot that tool. A rate of change indicator, ROC. That used to work really well in 2012. Doesn't work anymore any longer. So things change because as people adapt, as people learn, right? Exactly. So yeah, as people learn, now I'm sharing with you VWAP, okay? I'm sharing with you guys, and I shouldn't have, but I have, right? So I can't take it back anymore. But it's like more people share this knowledge, more it's going to become common knowledge. When it becomes common knowledge, people move on, find something new comes in. So you got to adapt as a trader, else you're going to be like those floor traders, right? Floor traders made millions and multi-million dollars in days, right? When we moved to electronic trading, all of them got eliminated because they didn't know what to do. Yeah, so that is why you got to forget those 20-year-old methods that you guys have been taught. And I'm not knocking it because that's where I started as well, right? That is where I started as well. I have no problem admitting that, right? I have a lot of respect for a couple of people there, and I learned there, right? I learned a lot of things there. I started there, so let's not knock anybody. But I noticed an issue: failure to adapt, failure to be dynamic, and that is why they have nothing to show. You know what I mean? So, anyways, let's move on from that topic, and let's get back to the VWAP. I wanted to cover some setups. Let me show you the strategy class slides. All right, I'm going to just finish this topic and then I'm going to head off because I have to hand it over to Jared. So let me bring up some slides for the actually let me load it up here. 1 second here. Let's shut off the screen share. Let's go to the slide sharing. Let's go to the strategy class. All right, so all right, let me quickly move back in here. All right, check these setups out, guys. Check these setups out. Okay, check these setups out. These are all from a paid class, which I'm not going to offer anymore, right? So check this out. These are all trades we took in the room. Look how it's been. Look how this is trading the Ford. But where's my cursor? All right, so you see how it's been trading below VWAP. Below the VWAP, don't take it. Below the VWAP, don't take it. Finally breaks the VWAP. You buy the next pullback. Boom. Look at this thing. Below VWAP, don't. Finally gets above VWAP, pulls back, holds, buy. Boom. Look at this setup here. This is on the short side. Breaks down, comes to the VWAP, can get above, short, fail. Look at this pullback. A lot of people here bought this buy setup, they stopped out. They bought this buy setup, they stopped out. They bought this buy setup, they stopped out here. I just waited. This pullback happened. It broke below VWAP, came back above, higher low, entry long, boom. And all these were trades from the room, okay? So that's what I want you to see. It's something that works. And trust me, just try this. Try it. Try it, okay? Put it on your chart. Use it on all your pullbacks, okay? Use it on your pullback setups, and you will notice the difference, okay? Trust me. I know it's hard to change. I know it's hard to put new stuff on your charts, but just put it. If you want, you can take off all the moving averages. Take off all the moving averages. Just put a VWAP on there, okay? And you will find out if these things work like a charm, all right? So FedEx should pop. Well, if it gets above it, yeah. So if it basically FedEx, for it to pop, FedEx needs to get above 154.20. Yeah. If it gets above that, it could. But you gotta also think of it this way. You gotta align the VWAP with the daily chart. Now, based on this, I would say yes, FedEx could pop. Okay, but I just don't like the daily chart. You know. So you can't use anything in isolation. You can't just say that, okay, it's getting above VWAP, I'm just gonna buy it. No, you gotta still look at your daily chart. Yeah. So So let me quickly share my screen again. All right, check this out. So look at this. Someone bought this buy setup right about here. Now they're like, what the heck? What the fuck is happening? Right? I just got stopped out, whatever. And look at it. It never got above the VWAP. It touched the VWAP. It failed, right? It got above the VWAP, but did the pullback hold? Did it give you a higher low? No, right? So now if you want to play this long, it's a simple setup. Wait till it breaks all of this, gets above the VWAP comfortably, then you buy it, right? That's as simple as that. But that being said, I just don't like this chart, you know? I just don't like this chart. Ellie, have you taken you've taken PTS, right, Ellie? Oh, you haven't? All right, so I mean, you know, couple people have it. So a lot of members have it. So if anybody wants to share it, please share it with Ellie, okay? So anyways, so that being said, look at FedEx, right? I mean, it could definitely work, but it's just like there are better daily charts out there, you know? So you got to also look at the daily chart in comparison to that. For me, the daily chart comes first before anything, right? Can you take a look at Netflix? Let's take a look at Netflix here. So Netflix is a junk today. I mean, Netflix is a junk, right? I mean, apart from this little pullback to the VWAP, it hasn't paid attention to it. But the best way to use VWAP is on gap ups, okay? Gap ups are the best way to use VWAP. Gap ups and gap downs, all right? Now, for example, let's use the example of PII, which a lot of you guys were trying to short today, right? Now, let me go over the setup with you, okay? Let me go over the setup with you guys on this thing here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh wait, sorry. No. Alright. Alright, so let's use it for example. So see how it pierced below the VWAP, right? But did you get a pullback that held that VWAP? No, it popped above. So no short. It broke the VWAP. Did the pullback hold? No, no short, right? It pulled below VWAP. Did the pullback hold? No, it got above, right? Pull back to the VWAP, held. Pull back to the VWAP, held. Pull back to the VWAP, held. Now look what happens here. All right, I don't even know if this was the one that worked or not, but just look here. Broke the VWAP, right? Try to get above the VWAP, no. So you put your short entry right under here. Let's see what happens. Look at that. And since then, it's never even got above VWAP. So if I zoom, I don't know how I can zoom in, but I want to zoom in like this. Okay. Damn it. All right, there you go. So let's look at it on a micro time frame. Look here, guys. Look here. Broke the VWAP, okay? Tried to get above it, put in a green bar, but that failed, right? Tried to get above it, failed. Tried to get above it, failed. So now that is where your short entry happens. That is where your short entry happens, okay? Because now when it got below, it can't get back above it. That is where the short entry happens, and boom. Okay? That's it. As simple as that. All right? So I'll speak to you guys later on. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it.